When I was younger, I used to really have these bad allergies, and that would make me constantly rub my eyes. In my household, we would call it itching your eyes, but it was when you kept just constantly rubbing your eyes due to the allergies, due to pollen. And I remember at a time it gotten so bad, I kept just constantly doing it every single day. And over time, my eyelids started to droop down. It started to get to a point where before, when it was kind of just wide open, it got to the point where the eyelids started to droop down a bit. And it kind of felt like I was closing my eyes even when I was wide open, like when I could see everything. It was at a point where it was just so low. It looked like I was just closing my eyes. And at the time, it didn't seem like a big issue, a big problem, but it was when people started to notice and kids used to start making fun of me. It was like in middle school, and people would notice it and they would be saying that, oh, JoJo's closing his eyes, or like, oh, JoJo's sleeping. Even though I was wide awake, I could clearly see perfectly fine. Even just the slightest squint, it made it seem like I was closing my eyes. And people used to make fun of me because it looked like I was sleeping. They would even say at the time in middle school, I obviously never smoked at that time, but they used to tell me like, oh, JoJo's high, and like, oh, JoJo's high on ganja, and all these comments. And that shit used to really get to me. It gotten so bad that at one point I actually had to get surgery for it. I had to get surgery to make the eyelid that was droopy, both of them. I had to recorrect them, put them a bit more up so that it looked like when I was, awake, I was looking that it's being able to see everything. But that's how bad it got. Like, I was made fun of so bad that I had to get surgery for that shit. But it's like, now that I look back at it, I kind of regret it. I kind of like regret like getting the surgery. When I look back at the pictures, it wasn't even that low. It wasn't even like at a point where it was like so bad. Like, yeah, it was a bit noticeable that maybe when I squinted my eyes, it looked like I was closing them, like I looked like I had my eyes shut. But it wasn't really that big of a deal when I look back at it. And honestly, now that I think of it, I should have like been proud of it. I should have just kept the way my eyes were. I should have never let like the people making fun of me get to me. One thing that I realized is everyone has insecurities. Everyone has like something that's they don't like about themselves, or something that they might think is a flaw. And one thing that I realized, and one thing that I regret at that situation, was I should have just embraced it. I should have just let myself be like, okay, this is the way my eyes are, but I don't need to get surgery. I don't need to change myself just in order to like impress these people. I honestly wish I was stronger back then to be able to have like the mindset of realizing like, bro, it wasn't even that bad. And one thing that I realized is like, even for you, if you have like insecurities, if you have something with you that you feel like, oh, this, I hate this thing about me, or oh, this is something that's wrong with me. I dislike this or that. You should honestly embrace your insecurities, because it's a part of my story now. It's a part of the way I am. It's a part of who I am. That time where it's just like the people were making fun of me and now I had to get surgery. Like, yeah, it's a part of me and it's like something that I regret now. But honestly, I'm happy that I did, because it honestly, again, it improved my eyelid. It made it better. But I honestly think I would have been way more stronger if I just left it the way it was. If I didn't really care about what people were saying or like what people thought of me, if I just kept, my eyelid just the way it was, even if it had a bit of that droopiness, I would have probably been more proud of myself if I was like, damn, like people are making fun of me. The people are saying like I look weird, or like, I look sleepy. But being able to have this peace in me, this content, knowing that no matter what the people were saying, I still love myself. Like, I still like the way that I look. I honestly think that would have done better for me in the long term than doing the surgery. I hope you realize too, like, if you have like insecurities, or like there's things that people make fun of you for, don't like succumb to like the hate. Don't succumb to like the negative like things that they're saying. Because it's like when you do that, you're honestly making those people win. When you have to like change yourself or do something like as serious as getting surgery because people are making fun of you, you're honestly letting them know that those things that they said, those hurtful things, that it holds weight over you, that those things, their opinions have like a strong, again, weight on you, a hold on you, and it's like you're allowing them to basically run your life. But it's when you kind of just accept your flaws and realize that everyone has insecurities. Like everyone in this world has something that they don't like about themselves. They have something where they look in the mirror and they're like, damn, like I wish this was different, or I wish that I kind of looked like this, or oh, I wish my face looked like that. And we all have insecurities. It's like even like when you're around girls sometimes, they're talking about how they don't look good, and you kind of just like looking at them like, bro, you look perfectly fine. Everyone that you could think of, like any attractive person, they still have flaws, they still have imperfections. And it's when we embrace it, it's when we really truly look at ourselves and be like, okay, these are the things that might seem wrong to other people's eyes, but to me, like it's a part of who I am. It's a part of like, my story. It's a part of my journey. Being able to accept that, I feel like that will actually make you stronger and make you have this like sense of pride in you, a sense of satisfaction in you, that no matter what people are saying, that they have no weight on you, that their opinions or whatever they say, they can never like change you. And it's crazy too, because a lot of people like get into these situations where maybe they don't like something about themselves and they end up getting surgery, and sometimes those surgeries can be like fatal. Like you hear it a lot where there could be like some girls who like get some plastic surgery and they're altering the way they look because they're not content or happy with the way they are. Maybe somebody was making fun of them, maybe people were judging them, and they do some surgery that is like something that you have like the chance of dying, like you never know until you're like doing it. But then you hear those stories where they get the surgery and they end up dying. And it's just so crazy to think that we live in a world where somebody's like opinion can like honestly make you do something like getting surgery, and you would rather go through that risk of dying just so that you can like please these people or get like a sense of approval from them. And it's honestly like mind-blowing for me that I had to do that. Like again, like I don't like have like a serious regret, like I'm happy like the way that it looked, but it's just I look back at it now and it's just like honestly crazy to me how I had to get surgery. I had to like ask my parents to like go to the eye doctors to get like everything set up, basically them having to like spend money, having to maybe spend something monthly to be able to like afford this surgery, just because I let these kids, like these people around me, get into my head thinking that I looked ugly or that there was something wrong with me. I look back at it and there is a bit of regret, and I kind of just wish like I was just strong enough to understand like it doesn't matter what these people say. I like the way that I look. I know it's not as bad as it seems, that the way that the people were making fun of me, that it was completely fine. Like I was literally looking at the pictures yesterday and I was just like, bro, they weren't even that bad. But I let them get to my head, and it's like I basically let them win getting that surgery. And that's why I'm just trying to emphasize, like, you need to accept your flaws. You need to accept your imperfections and insecurities. Every single person on this world has it. I just don't want someone to end up getting to a point where they're letting people again say those negative things and it gets so bad that you have to get surgery. That's how bad it was that those people were making fun of me, that I thought that there was something wrong with me, that I had to get surgery. And I just don't want someone to end up getting into like a surgery or something because of what people are said, and you could possibly have the potential of like losing your life over that shit, over people's opinions. And it was just something that I was like, man, this is something that I really need to talk about, really emphasize. Don't let other people's like opinions, like their negative thoughts, like affect you. Like you should really look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, there's these things that people may make fun of, or things that you look at yourself like, oh, I wish this was different, or you think like, oh, I wish I had a better this or that. No, you need to accept the way you are. Accept who you truly are. Like there's a reason why you're this way. There's a reason why you look like that. And You should never like get to the point where you just have to change something about you just to impress people, just to gain someone else's like sense of approval. It should never get to that point. But just start accepting the way you are. Anytime you have like a doubt or like insecurity or a flaw, imperfection that you kind of just don't like, keep in the back of your mind that everyone has it. This was the greatest thing that helped me, was realizing that everyone has it. Like again, just being around girls and then them talking about like, oh, the way that they don't like themselves, or they're telling themselves that they look ugly, and then it's like again, they look perfectly fine. Just hearing shit like that kind of just makes me give like a sense of like, okay, everything is okay. It keeps me grounded. It lets me know that, okay, like, when I looked in the mirror and saw this pimple or I saw this zit on my face, this is a normal thing. It should never get to the point where it's like you're like constantly talking bad about yourself, like where you hate yourself. You need to realize like, bro, there's people out there that again, everything looks fine. They look perfectly fine, but they still have insecurities too. And that's what helps me to keep me like, making sure that, okay, no matter what, I should accept who I am totally. And it's when you do that, you will never get to the point now where people might be saying something, they might judge you or criticize you for something, some flaw that you have, but it can never get to you because deep down in you, deep down inside, that no matter what anyone can say, no matter what people could talk about you, you know that you're okay. You know that you're good enough. And it's when you accept your flaws and your imperfections, that's when you start to really love yourself in a way that you've never loved yourself before. And always remember to keep going.